Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your social media compass. My name is Jacqueline Baker, and I'm very excited to be here with my friend Fatima Khan. How are you today?
Hi, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I
Of
am
course.
doing really good.
Amazing. I'm so glad. I'm very excited to have a conversation with you because I've been keeping up with you on LinkedIn for quite some time.
Likewise, yeah.
Awesome. So tell everyone listening, who are you and what do you do?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Fatima Khan. I am based out in London, and as you can probably tell from my accent, I'm not a local. I moved out here about 3 years ago, and I haven't looked back. London is an incredible city to live in as an entrepreneur. Although I work remote, I work from home most days, but I still find it really resourceful to live in a city full of opportunities. I have a personal branding agency called LinkedIn Tea, and I'm actually in my first year of building it. I recently hired two members to my team. It feels amazing to be growing at this rate. I started my agency off the back of my own personal brand. I started posting content on LinkedIn as a 9 to 5er about 2 years ago, and I quickly grew on the platform. In a few months' time, I got ranked as a top 200 female creator worldwide. Today, I'm ranked number three in the UK for LinkedIn growth. I have over 50,000 followers. I very quickly understood the platform and how to basically build a presence there. So, shortly afterwards, I started offering coaching services to B2B founders on how to grow their presence on LinkedIn and monetize it for their businesses. And that's what I do full time right now. My agency offers LinkedIn visual branding, content writing, and I primarily conduct LinkedIn coaching for B2B founders.
That's amazing. I love that for you. Like, you're doing so well. You should be really proud of yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, it has been a lot of long hours because initially when I started off, I was a 9 to 5er myself. I worked in a marketing job as a marketing manager for a pharmaceutical. So I never really thought that I would pivot into having a business, but here we are.
And your engagement on your posts, I must say, is also fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I teach others on how to, generate that sort of attention with their personal brand now.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of leads on
Mhm.
LinkedIn, like people reaching out to you, asking for support?
Yeah, LinkedIn is my number one platform for lead generation. And I don't use any paid media, or it's all organic, it's all inbound. And essentially, the content strategy that I have is I divide it into three elements. It is reach, nurture, and convert content. If I break it down, essentially, reach content is what gets you in front of new people. The best way to do that is by creating content for masses that is shareable. So I post about twice a week content that gets me in front of new profiles, that gets people to new people to find my profile, and then I nurture that new audience by sharing my story constantly or inspirational content that gets them interested in what I have to offer. And finally, how you essentially convert people into leads is by informing your audience or introducing to your audience what really is it that you offer. And this, I think, is what a lot of people get wrong. They either only post about their offer on LinkedIn or they post about everything else but their offer. So you need to have a funnel in place. Exactly. So you need to make sure that you're reaching with shareable content and then nurturing with storytelling content and finally converting with a very clear offer. And that's exactly the strategy I use to generate clients
Okay.
100% inbound.
How long did it start taking you to get leads when did you start posting?
So initially when I started posting, as I mentioned, my goal was very different on the platform. As a 9 to 5, I wanted to position myself as an authority in the field of marketing. And then 5 months down the line, I was quite active on the platform, posting almost every single day. And that's when people started noticing my presence. And that's when I was ranked top 200 female creator. So it took about 5 months to really take off. In terms of any sort of traction. And from there, I was able to launch my coaching business, I think 2, 3 months down after that. And it's I think that it has been a year almost to all of that happening. And initially I was offering a different service, but once you interact, I think I've had about 36 clients this year, coaching clients. And what I found was they all have such similar issues. Everybody has a problem with, defining a clear offer, getting engagement. So that eventually became my offer, how to help clients figure that out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, because I'm like, how do you juggle so many people? That's so much work. Oh, you must be really good at what you do, though, I'm sure. Yeah, have you gotten any other opportunities from LinkedIn?
And absolutely. So, what I really like about having built a personal brand is the fact that it has opened up other revenue streams for my business. So, primarily, my job is to coach others on the platform to help build personal brands. But another sort of revenue stream has been partnering with brands in promoting their services. So, I post a lot about technology in the space of digital marketing, and I like to promote a lot of small businesses. And for that reason, I've been able to partner with quite a few brands. So I partner with almost 4 to 5 brands in every month in promoting their offers. So that sort of opportunities have also presented themselves, and they would not have it if I never chose to post content on LinkedIn. I think that's a great opportunity. I've interacted with so many small business owners that way who have also become my clients down the line. There was one in particular that I was able to help build their personal brand on the platform and promote their brand to my audience. Apart from that, I think the other opportunity it has brought is discussions and interactions like the one we are having. Have people approaching to have a conversation, which I think is the best part about LinkedIn. The fact that I get to meet so many people through conversations just by posting content.
Amazing. What advice would you give to someone who's starting out on LinkedIn?
I would suggest to to be very consistent with your efforts. So, like I mentioned, it took me 5 months to really get any sort of traction, and I wanted to quit so many times. And honestly, Jacqueline, I still want to quit so many times. So you have to be consistent with your efforts. Some days are not going to look any good. Like sometimes you would feel that your efforts are not going anywhere, but you have to be patient. It is about improving 1% every day, not really about improving, you know, massively every single day. So you have to keep showing up. You have to be very consistent with your efforts. So that's one advice. I would also say, like, be very mindful of why you're creating content. Why are you present on the platform? Once you have your why figured out, that's how you will be able to maintain that consistency.
That's good advice because sometimes like it's just so easy to post but not have, a reason. It's like, what do I want to get out of this post?
Yeah.
So I totally get that. And I deal with that sometimes too. I'm like, what am I going to post out about today? What's the goal?
Yeah. It does get it does get monotonous, I would say, after some time. You have to keep repeating your message. So if you don't really know why you're doing that, you will get bored out of the exercise.
Yeah. How do you get inspiration for your posts? Like what inspires them?
I think number one, so I have a few strategies for that. Like you just mentioned, you posting every day, you have to come up with new ideas all the time, but essentially what you have to do is you use the same ideas but present them in a different way. And uh so that's one thing. I keep repeating the same message, but I schedule it in a different way each time. And the second thing I like to do is there's a really cool tool called Clio on the platform, and it's a free tool. If I'm not sure, do you use it for your LinkedIn research? Yeah, so it's really good in terms of like doing a quick competitor analysis, what other people in your niche are posting and what sort of content theirs has taken off. So it gives you an idea what your similar audience would want to expect from you. So it's a great way to generate ideas for yourself. I also maintain a swipe file. Any piece of content that I like, I save it. I use another tool for that. It's called Supergrow. And amazing. Yeah. So these tools at your disposal are amazing. I use AI in my content as well. I not only in the brainstorming stage, but I use ChatGPT to write some of my content as well in terms of familiar templates that I use. So it's really easy when you have templates in place, you just keep filling them with ideas. And I think the most amount of inspiration I get is from actual client queries when I jump on calls. Like I mentioned just earlier, how a lot of the problems I have seen my clients face are quite similar. So they make really good content pieces. You actually address those issues in your and be able to attract the right target audience that way.
Oh, I'm sure. Like I learn so much from my clients every single
Yeah.
day. Sometimes you get asked questions, it's like, hey, how do you normally deal with XYZ? And you're like, oh, I never really thought about that. Let me do some more homework.
And then your content creation hat is always on that, ooh, I could use that in my next LinkedIn post.
Exactly. Or they'll ask about a software that came out like 5 minutes ago. And I'm like, I'm not sure, but I'm going to Google it and figure it out.
Really.
Awesome. Do you only serve clients in your local area or do you serve clients all over?
All over, interestingly, most of my clients come from the US. All, uh, and I think the next would be US and UK. But not that many are from the UK, which is so surprising since majority of my target or majority of my following is from the UK because that's how it works when you the country that you're based in. Yeah. However, my clients have mostly been from the States, UAE, and I think third most from the UK.
It's so interesting how that works out, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So how is it for you? Is LinkedIn your number one lead generation platform as well?
I'd say like LinkedIn and Instagram are pretty close, like they're almost tied.
Amazing. Instagram. I would love to learn that from you sometime.
Yeah, very good at what I do. I'm happy to sit with you.
And your podcast as well. So when you sent me an invitation, I went, and I listened to a lot of the episodes. What you're doing is amazing. You bring in different guests, so a lot of different voices on your podcast, which is very, very interesting.
Yeah, no, I love having variety because like everyone's story is so different. So it's good to see like, oh, how does John do this? How does Bob do that? How does Sarah do this?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the good thing about your personal brand. It's your story. You may be in a
Yeah,
very saturated market, but that's how you stand out by how different your story is.
I know. And you have a great story from what I see on LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's part of my content strategy to keep reminding my audience.
No, I love it. Like you're just very open and I really respect
Oh,
that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's easy to be afraid. It's like, oh, I can't share this about me because then people will judge me or what have you. But you have to just be open. Yeah.
And let me tell you, Jacqueline, that feeling just never goes away. The feeling of being afraid to share your story or you feeling cringe to post something on the platform. I have been posting almost every single, not very regularly on the platform, and I still feel those emotions. So you just get used to them, is what I will say.
I know a lot of things in life you'd be surprised, like are very easy to get used to if you give
Yeah,
yourself
yeah,
enough time.
yeah. Well said. Exactly. It's about putting in the reps.
I know there's so many things I used to be afraid of and I'm still kind of afraid of, but like it's less intense.
What would be the number one thing?
Oh, like I used to be afraid to check my email when I had like 100 emails waiting for me. I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. Like,
Oh my God, that gets to me as well. So my husband is the opposite way. He would, sleep the next day without checking his emails, and I'm like, I have to read all of them before I go to bed. I just cannot.
I know it makes me a little nervous. I'm like, what if like something happened? Like, I get all worried.
Yeah, and I feel like you don't have that privilege as an entrepreneur. So he works full time as a 9 to 5er. So they have that privilege that they can go to bed the next day without seeing their emails. But as an entrepreneur, you just never know what email might just be very pressing.
Exactly, because sometimes things aren't like a huge deal, but they're time sensitive. It's like, okay, this will only take me 5 minutes, but I have to do it before this time, or else it's going to be like inconvenient.
Yeah, yeah. Eat the frog.
I know, like with social media, sometimes like a client will get a last minute invitation to a trade show, so they want to do a post about it before the trade show. And if that's like super timely, you have to do the work faster.
Yeah. And with social media, like if you miss a trend, if you miss a certain number of hours in a day with hopping on that trend, you really miss the train. Yeah.
I know, so you have to be really careful. That's why sometimes, again, when I have 100 unread emails, I get a little nervous.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's life. That's like a whole other episode in itself. It's like how to get over email anxiety.
It's yeah, absolutely. I would listen to that because I think that's a very common issue a lot of us face, and people, and as I mentioned, especially business entrepreneurs, because you just don't have that sort of privilege in your business to not really pay attention to any and everything. And especially when you are a solo business owner, that's what you are as well, aren't you? You have a team, amazing. So I've just recently hired a team. I'm still navigating myself, so I still consider myself as a solopreneur. So I still take, all the decisions myself, and I'm finding a bit of a challenge delegating, but yeah, we'll get there.
Oh, I really do you have any final thoughts or ideas to share before we start wrapping up?
Mm, I suppose like if you're a business owner in and or aspiring to be one in next year, 2025, the best investment you can make for you on yourself right now is building your personal brand. I'm being biased because I am in the space of building personal brands, but I've noticed yeah, it is the best way to future proof yourself. It will be the best asset that you possibly have in the next 4 or 5 years down. Even if you start posting on LinkedIn every single day for the next 1 year, you will probably never have to worry about money again. And I know that sounds fluffy, but there's a lot that goes into it. But the idea is that you start taking your personal brand seriously, and if you work towards that actively, opportunities will 100% open up for you.
Yeah, 100%. How can we get in touch with you? What's the best way to connect with you?
Yeah, the best way, as I mentioned, I'm the most active on LinkedIn, so reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can follow me there. Um, get in my DMs, have a chat. I love to meet new people. It was amazing to have this conversation with you today, Jack, and I hope to stay in touch with you. So LinkedIn will be where you get in touch with me.
Fantastic. Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to connect with me.
Absolutely, my pleasure. I would love to get to know you more after this call as well.
Fantastic. And thank you to everyone who took the time out of your day to listen. I hope you all enjoyed and learned something new. And until next time, I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye, everybody. Bye.